If you've got the new Toyota Tacoma and you're looking for mod ideas, I've got 8 suggestions for you. Some functional, some aesthetic, and some both. So let's start with the first one, and it is purely aesthetic, although it might reduce drag a little bit. And I'm talking about debadging. You may notice there is no TRD Sport badge over here. That's because I removed it. Pretty simple to do. If your truck didn't come with the letters in the back of the gate here, the tailgate, you can get those over at toughskins.com. There is a discount code. It's RobMotive10 for 10% off. Pretty simple to do. They have lots of different colors and things. Again, the badge removed from over here. And I also removed the Tacoma badges from the side. They are gone. Just a nice clean look. And again, aerodynamically, might actually give you a little bit better fuel economy, although I doubt it. Next up, we have to go under the hood. I installed the aux beam switch panel, or switch. Pretty simple. It just connects to the battery, and then there's a wire that runs in through the cab so that you can control it with the control panel. I'll show you that in a minute. Make sure if you do this that you do get the 60 amp circuit breaker. You want to make sure this blows before anything else does. Pretty simple install. Mine is actually screwed into the top of the fuse panel over here, and because Toyota moved the battery to the other side, you kind of have to run the control wire this way, and then you go through that big grommet you can see right down there. Now, inside, of course, we have the panel. I mounted mine with just double-sided tape here in case I ever want to move it. And I will say, the right double-sided tape, this thing is solid. I actually tried to pull it off. I wanted to reposition it before I was done with the install, and it actually pulled this trim piece right off with it. Not a big deal. It's supposed to come off, but just something to be aware of. Now, continuing on, we're going to move around to the rear. I added rear D-rings. These things are pretty cool. They just add a little bit of toughness, aggressiveness to the truck. And of course, they do serve a purpose as well. They are mounted to the frame piece across here, so you can actually use them as tow hooks. And I think they just look pretty good. It's a very simple application, easy install. Probably take you about half an hour to do if that. Next up, we need to take a look at the wheels. Of course, I put new wheels and tires on. We'll get to those in a minute. These are TRD wheels. They are aluminum painted black. I wanted black on the truck because, you know, I'm not a big chrome guy. And the originals, which are here, come with it's really a brushed aluminum I look. And if you like these, there's nothing wrong with them. I actually wish that Toyota would have continued the black all the way around because I do like the design, but I'm not a big fan of the billet aluminum look. Now, I mentioned I did do the tires as well. These are Falcon Wild Peaks AT3Ws. They are my favorites. Nice aggressive looking tire. They provide for good traction and a good comfort in ride. I really like these the best out of all. I went with a 285/65 R18. The wheels, of course, are 18-inch. You can go bigger. I do have a lift on this truck, and we'll get to that next. What I went with was a 2-inch leveling lift, and it means exactly that if you're not familiar. The Tacoma comes with a bit of a rake. It's kind of always diving down at the ground, right? I raised the front end up as well as the back just a little bit to yield a 2-inch lift. Now, the big concern about putting different tires on is always a rub in the front. As you can see on mine, I've got a ton of room here so that when you turn the tire, you don't get into the fender. That's always been a problem in the past. And then back here, same thing. I mean, look at all that real estate there. Lots and lots of room. And I can even maintain the mud flaps. I didn't have to take those off to enable a little bit bigger tire. And when I say little, it is just a little. It's about an inch bigger than what the stock size was. And I did that intentionally because I didn't want to weight the truck down with a real heavy tire, rob it of some of its power. That's why I went with the size that I went with, that is. Let's check the back. Of course, the bed mat. Now, this is not one that I bought. It's actually a bed mat from the previous generation Tacoma, the 3rd gen. I did have to alter it a little bit. The bed setup, the interior, the dimensions are a little bit different. I had to make a couple cuts on the edges, and then I had to cut out, which obviously you can tell here, for the D-rings in the back, or the tie-down rings. Not a big deal. This stuff with a good sharp carpet type knife cuts really, really easily. So if you want to save yourself anywhere from probably 90 to 180 bucks, you can use your existing mat if you happen to have one with your 3rd gen. Lastly, and I just did this mod recently, or parts of it, are the tie downs from billettiedowns.com. You can see we've got a couple in the rails up there. We've got some in the bed itself down here. And what I really like about these is they are able to be adjusted so you can put this where you want it. And they don't get all gummed up and rusted like the OEMs do. If you've ever tried to go out and pull this up on the OEM version, typically you need a pair of pliers or a hammer or a screwdriver to do that, because they tend to rust to the body. These don't do that, and they rotate. Very nice. Also, up in the front, I replaced the screen door type tie downs that they had up there. These are actually a little bit bigger, and they also add a tie down feature in the center right there. They look just like this, just a little smaller. And that is this slot right here. So now I can tie down right across the middle here and in the front. Just gives you a little bit more option. Of course, they're a heck of a lot beefier. They are made from a 6061 T6 aluminum. If you want to check those out, by the way, there is a discount code, as there are for some other things down below. For these in particular, it's RobMotive. The code is worth 5% off if you're looking to do something with those. Anyway, those are just 8, 9 mods that I've done so far to the truck. Can't believe how light this tailgate is. I mean, this thing, wow. Anyway, just a few mods that I've done to the truck so far. There are many more to come. I kind of wanted to run through for anybody who's just picked up the 2024 and you're looking for things to do. Well, there's 8 or 9 ideas you can check out. Leave a comment. Let me know if you've done any of these things or what you think of them. I'd just be curious to know. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Bye.